If you're traveling to Portugal, especially Lisbon, Sintra has to be at the top of your list. It's located about 24 kilometers or 15 miles northwest of Lisbon. When traveling to Sintra, these are your top 5 ways of getting there. Train, which is economical, pretty comfortable, and reasonably priced. Car, which could be comfortable unless you're sitting in a lot of traffic, and it could be difficult to navigate those small windy roads in Sintra. You'll probably have to park your car and take some other means of transportation to get to all the sites. Bus, I would definitely take the train over the bus. It's just more convenient. And if you don't feel like planning anything and getting a little education at each of the sites, while having the convenience of being picked up at the train station, the bus station, or even the airport, a tour might be your choice. And rideshare is comfortable and pretty reasonable, and even better if you could share the fare with somebody else. Tip 1. Weather year-round. Okay, this one's not so much a tip as just general information, but it just might help you when you're planning your trip to Sintra. Tip 2. Prepare for the weather. The weather in Sintra can be a little unpredictable, and it can get quite windy up in the mountains. When we went in early June, it was close to 90 degrees, so the sunscreen and hats we brought were much needed and appreciated. Tip 3. Take the train, which is one of the easiest and economical ways to get to Sintra. Most people traveling to Sintra from Lisbon take the train, and they take it from Rossio Station, which is located in the center of the city, so it's easy to get to by public transportation or by walking. Tip 4. Start your day early. So if you have half a day, a full day, or even 2 days in Sintra, you want to start your days as early as possible so you'll be able to see as many sites as you can in the time you have. Here are some general hours for some of the most popular sites. Tip 5. Purchase your train tickets on the day you are traveling. Many of the tickets you purchase are good for that day and that day only. So your best bet is to arrive at the train station early. Purchase your tickets the morning before you are traveling to Sintra. Tip 6. Arrive at the train station early. Like I had mentioned in Tip 5, arriving at the train station early is a great idea. There might be some long queues to buy train tickets. We saw lines that ranged from 15 minutes to a half hour, and you don't want to be on the ticket line when your train's about to depart. Here we have Rossio Station. It is a beautiful train station. When you walk inside, you'll see a TV monitor that'll tell you the status of your train, if it's on time, delayed, or canceled. Go up these escalators to buy your tickets. Directly to the right of the escalators is a Starbucks where everybody seems to go to get their food, drinks, use the bathroom. But go upstairs first and buy your tickets. And if you have time after, you can go back downstairs and get whatever you need. When you get upstairs, there'll be a few ticket windows and a few ticket machines. There usually will be somebody there assisting people who are trying to buy tickets, but this is a slow process and the lines do not move quickly. That's why you should get to the train station early. Then you could just scan your ticket, walk down the platform, hop on the train, and enjoy your lovely 40-minute ride on somewhat comfortable seats to the magical town of Sintra. Tip 7. Take the train car furthest from the station. At Rossio Station, when you walk onto the train platform, try to get on one of the last cars on the Sintra train. This way, when you exit the train and leave the station, you'll be one of the first ones out. This should save you a little bit of time, and maybe you could be one of the first ones on the bus or grab the first taxi or tuk-tuk. Tip 8. Take the train to the last stop. That's Sintra, not Portela de Sintra. There was definitely some confusion on the train as some people got off on the wrong stop. Just get off at the last stop, Sintra, and you'll be just fine. Tip 9. Keep your Viva card on hand. You will need to scan your card when entering the platform and exiting the station, as well as on the train. So if you keep your card somewhere easily accessible, you can get to it when entering and exiting the station and not be that person searching for their card and slowing up the line. Tip 10. Getting around Sintra. Just like getting to Sintra, there are a few options for getting around Sintra. First, there is the bus, It's economical and practical, but it can get a little hot and crowded on the bus, and it's a little time consuming. So if you have time restraints, the bus might not be your best option. You could also take a taxi or a tuk-tuk. This will be a little more expensive, but the prices are reasonable, and it should get you there with a little more comfort and save you a little time. I would not recommend you driving to the sites in Sintra. If you took your car to Sintra, I'd recommend you parking near the city center or near the train station and take another means of transportation to get around. The roads are quite small and not easy to navigate. A tour is a great idea if you don't feel like planning or organizing anything, and there are some great options. And then there's walking. And if you like to hike and see the sights, Sintra is the perfect town for it. We ended up taking the bus one stop to Pena and walked the rest of the day. Tip 11. Bus stops. Okay, this one isn't so much a tip as just general information. The two most popular buses are the 434 and 435. The 434 seems to get very crowded as it stops at some of the most popular tourist sites. And don't worry if you miss the bus, the next one usually comes within 15 minutes. But just be aware the buses don't always run on a set time schedule. Tip 12. When leaving the train station, make a right towards the 434 bus. So if you do decide to take the bus, make a right as soon as you leave the train station. You should see people forming a line for the bus, and there most likely will be somebody there to organize the people and direct them where to stand for the next bus. At the time of this video, it was 1150 euros for the hop-on, hop-off all-day pass for the bus, and 390 euros for a single ride. So basically, if you're going to take the bus 2 times or less, I would pay each time for a single ride. And if you plan on taking the bus 3 times or more, I would get the hop-on, hop-off pass. Tip 13. Bring cash. No matter where you're traveling, it's always a good idea to bring cash with you. And coincidentally, on the day we were traveling in Sintra, they were not accepting credit cards on the bus. So unless you had a ticket already, or euros, you were unable to ride the bus. Tip 14. Have a plan. Kind of. If you have an idea of what sites you want to see, it'll definitely save you time and hopefully save you a little money. Even if you're not a planner, try to figure out what sites you want to see. This way, you'll be able to see everything you want in the time you have allotted. Tip 15. Dress for comfort. You'll most likely be doing a lot of walking, so wear comfortable shoes and wear comfortable, breathable clothes, and don't forget to bring layers, as it can get hot during the day and a little chilly at night. And even though you're dressed for comfort, I'm sure you'll look great for those vacation photo ops. Tip 16. Bring water. It's going to be a long day of walking, and it could get quite warm depending on the season. So it's very important to keep hydrated throughout the day, and in case you run out, you could always buy water in town or at most of the sites. Tip 17. Purchase your tickets for the sites ahead of time. This tip should give you a little less stress and save you a lot of time. I'll provide links below so you can buy tickets directly from the sites. They will provide you with a downloadable e-ticket. You can use your e-ticket on your phone to get in each site, or you could print out a paper copy, or both. Basically, whichever makes you feel more comfortable. Tip 18. Go to Pena Palace first. This is one of the must-see places when visiting Sintra. This is probably the most popular site in Sintra, therefore it gets very crowded. So try to get there early, and maybe you could avoid some of the crowds. Tip 19. Skip the inside tour of Pena Palace. Don't get me wrong, the rooms inside Pena Palace are beautiful, but it can get crowded and hot inside, and between waiting on the long line and the long tour inside, it will take a lot of precious time out of your day. And do you really want to wait on this line? When basically, without waiting on any long lines, you could just walk around the castle and the grounds and see some beautiful sights. Tip 20. Walk to Moorish Castle from Pena Palace. This should be your next stop after Pena Palace. It's a quick walk down the road. As there are no real sidewalks, just be careful and look out for cars, and you should be just fine. Tip 21. Take in the breathtaking views from Moorish Castle. The views from the top of Moorish Castle are truly incredible. Just remember, there's going to be a lot of steps and a lot of uneven steps. A good thing about Moorish Castle, since it's so spread out, it doesn't seem that crowded. Plus, not that many people want to make that climb, but if you're up for it, it's well worth it. Tip 22. Quinta de Regaleira. Even though my pronunciation might not be perfect, this is one of the must-see places in Sintra. You could either take the 434 bus back to town and then take the 435 bus, or if you're up for a nice hike, there are some path markers to help you on your way, and the path doesn't get too crowded, but you're sure to see other hikers making the same trek. And just in case you get lost, you could always ask one of the helpful locals for directions. Tip 23. Go to the initiation well first. When you get to Quinta de Regaleira, your first stop should be the initiation well. There might be a small line, but going to the initiation well is definitely a unique experience. And you can get some great photo ops. And afterwards, walk around the grounds and take in the beautiful landscapes and architecture. Tip 24. Don't feel like walking or taking the bus? It's not an issue. It could be a long day, you could be tired, you could have time restraints. You have some options. You can schedule a tour with transportation, you can get a taxi or a tuk-tuk at most sites, and the prices are pretty reasonable. Tip 25. Enjoy the historical town. While sightseeing through the town of Sintra, you'll probably get a little hungry, so it's a good idea to stop at one of the local restaurants. You could rest a little and enjoy a wonderful meal. Plus, you'll be helping support the local community. Tip 26. Returning to Lisbon. And the last tip on this episode. If you are returning to Lisbon, you're most likely taking the train, and the trains in Portugal are good, but by no means perfect. When returning to Lisbon from Sintra, our train was delayed almost an hour. The day earlier, we wanted to go to the beach at Cascais, and the train workers were on strike. So we figured our best bet was to take an Uber. It was about 45 euros each way, which is about the same price as it is from Lisbon to Sintra. And if you could find some people to share the Uber with, which we did, the price is pretty reasonable. I hope this video helps you on your trip to Sintra. For more insights, tips, and info into all your travel moves, stay tuned and subscribe to our channel.